It's now official. NASCAR is going international once again, this time for a points race in Mexico. The Cup Series and the Xfinity Series will be racing in Mexico City in 2025 at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, named after the Rodriguez brothers who raced two Mexican drivers back way like in the 60s or so. So I'm going to talk to you about the track a little bit, talk about my thoughts on it. Always curious to hear what your thoughts are. But NASCAR to Mexico. Multiple impacts on the schedule. The dates are the weekend of June 15th. That is when the Cup Series race will be on the 15th, and presumably the Xfinity Series race on the 14th that Saturday. That is Father's Day weekend next year. And for those wondering, yes, Kyle Busch will be able to race in this race. There were some questions because he had a legal issue in Mexico a couple of years ago, but it has been cleared up. It has been fine. Kyle Busch, the Xfinity winner at Mexico about 20 years ago, can indeed race at this race. Now, some more information on this. As I just said, NASCAR has raced at this specific track before. It was the Xfinity Series, back then the Busch Series, from 2005 to 2008. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Kyle Busch were your winners in the Busch Series. At the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I'm going to missay that a couple times, I guarantee it. But the point being is that this is a road course. It is they're going to run a shorter circuit. The Formula One circuit, I'll let you get a look at it. This is where they run the Formula One Mexican Grand Prix. This is the actual track that F1 uses, 17 turns, 2.67 miles. But NASCAR will be chopping out that little section after turn 4. So instead of going through that chicane and then the extra turn, they will be turning a hard right after turn 4. But the rest of the track they will be using. Fun fact of the day, that front straight is about 3/4 of a mile, 0.75 miles, which is the length of the track it's replacing. Now, this track, Richmond Raceway, is not completely leaving the NASCAR calendar, but it will lose one Cup Series date in 2025. They've had 2 dates for a long time now, and now, well, they're only going to have one. Mexico is replacing one of the Richmond dates, to be determined on which one it will lose. But Mexico now going to be in June, and another factor to this, it is a high elevation. It's over 7,000 feet above sea level. It's played some impact on Formula One. I think it's something to do with the engines, the higher, the thinner air. I'm curious to see if that makes a difference on the cars itself. Just a curious thought. But we will be running that 2.5 mile course. We will be running the Cup and Xfinity Series, and it's a really big deal. It's the first time since 1958 that the NASCAR Cup Series has gone international for a points race. We've seen the Xfinity Series go to Canada. We've seen the Xfinity Series go to this track in Mexico. And the Cup Series, NASCAR has had exhibition races in Japan before. But to finally get a points-paying race international, whether it's Mexico, Canada, even if we went, I don't know, Mongolia or Malaysia, Australia, Madagascar, I don't know. I think it's a big deal for NASCAR to go international, even though it's just next door. Mexico City, obviously the biggest city in Mexico. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Yeah, all right, good guess by me. The capital of Mexico, and Mexico has a passionate sports fan base. Obviously, their national soccer team. But then when Sergio Perez, when they go to the F1 race, he is heavily cheered upon for that race. And Daniel Suarez, Mexican-born driver, he will be in this race next year. He was at the announcement today. I think he is going to be I'm stating the obvious really here, but he's going to be the most popular driver at that race. He is going to get a lot of cheers. I think this is going to be a heavily attended race. They're going to have a lot of fans at the track cheering on, going to their first NASCAR race, cheering on Daniel Suarez or whoever their driver may be. But I think this is a big deal for NASCAR to go international, to show NASCAR to the rest of the world. I know Mexico is just the country bordering us, just down south. But it is a huge deal for NASCAR to go international. It's a huge deal for NASCAR to quite literally broaden its horizons and go out to a different country to reach a new fan base. NASCAR historically has been a Southeast sport, and we're still adding races to the Southeast like Bowman Gray Stadium in North Carolina, which someone might argue that North Carolina is not in the Southeast, I guess. But anyways, we have multiple races in Florida, multiple races in Alabama, multiple races in South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina. You get my point. We have so many races in this one region that NASCAR's spreading out, trying to find new fans. It's a good thing. And some of the older fans are going to say, oh, NASCAR needs to stick to its roots and they need to stay where they belong. What? That makes no sense. NASCAR's not abandoning all their historic racetracks. We just brought back Richmond Raceway. Or not Richmond Raceway, we're actually losing a date there. We just brought back North Wilkesboro. Rockingham might be coming back for the Truck or Xfinity Series. So we're still going back to some historic tracks. We are still keeping our history. The Daytona 500, still the Daytona 500. Coke 600, still a major. Southern 500, still a major. We went back to the Indianapolis Oval. So do not fear. The Daytona 500 is not going away. Martinsville's not going away. Bristol's not going away. NASCAR had an opportunity to do something unique, to do something special, to reach a new audience, a new fan base, and they took advantage of it, and there's no reason they shouldn't. I think we should try to make, I know it's impossible, but to make all 8 billion people on this planet like NASCAR. And yes, it's a tough task to get all 8 billion, but if you can add just a few more, if you can get someone to go to the racetrack for the first time, I think it's a huge deal. And I think reaching out to a completely new fan base, I think that's huge. I think it's a great opportunity. I really hope the people in Mexico who go to this race, that they become NASCAR fans. We're going to have the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Regional Series. The NASCAR Mexico Series will be there that weekend too. So I think it's a big deal that NASCAR is going to Mexico. Once again, if it was Mexico, Canada, Nepal, Chad, or, Peru, wherever it may be, I think it's a big deal. And logistically, obviously, Mexico City makes a bit more sense than any of the countries I just listed. So I think it's a big deal. I think it's a great opportunity. It's a great decision by NASCAR. It's another road course added to the schedule. Who am I going to pick to win it as of now? Probably Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez is a good road racer, and if he wins at home, that will be a celebration like no other. But it's going to be really cool to see the NASCAR Cup Series cars going through that stadium section at the end of the track and see the fans all cheering them on. So, let me know what your thoughts are on NASCAR going to Mexico. I personally am excited. I think this is a great decision. And as for any other international adventures, I guess we will see. But Cup Series schedule expected to be announced by the end of the week. So once we get that full schedule, I'll give you some sort of a reaction telling you what's happening. I will be traveling, though, this week towards the end of the week to Darlington to go to the Southern 500. So let me know what your thoughts are tomorrow. Can't believe I'm saying these words. Harrison Burton Championship case. Get ready for it. It should be exciting and fun. But thanks for watching this video again. Hope you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to seeing how NASCAR goes in Mexico.